Hello, good morning everybody. Um, this is Dr. Mamta Dikhe, Director, Zenith Advanced Fertility Center, which is at Wakad in Pune. Um, we had today said that we would give some insight. I would give some insight on the current recommendations of COVID vaccination, especially in women and couples who are either trying for a pregnancy, women who are pregnant, women who are lactating or breastfeeding. Because there is a lot of question marks and queries around what we all should be doing. So let us begin at the very beginning, as they say. So, thank you for joining us first and foremost. To give just a brief idea about Zenith, Zenith is an advanced fertility center where we do complete assisted reproduction, right from the basic infertility right up to IVF and everything included as a part of IVF. But of course, along with IVF comes so many other issues like recurrent pregnancy losses, recurrent implantation losses, and so much other stuff. And we handle all those cases as well. Since the last year, all of us have been battling with the coronavirus pandemic. It started in China and quickly spread all over the globe, sparing no country at all. And of course, India, with its huge population, was also affected. Now, we all know that coronavirus comes from a family of the SARS coronavirus group, and it is called as the novel coronavirus, which causes the COVID-19 infection. Now, this is a single-stranded RNA virus, and we usually acquire the virus by breathing in the droplets that an infected person has kind of coughed out, and they tend to stay in the environment for some time. It has a very high transmissibility. That is why a lot of people can get infected very fast. That is also the reason why it spread across the globe so fast. And once it kind of goes into the respiratory tract, it slowly goes down the nasopharynx into the lungs and then adheres to the receptors there, and then causes a very massive immune reaction to the body. So basically your body is fighting against the coronavirus, and because the body starts producing all the antibodies and the T cells and the fighter cells in such a large amount and such a large extent, that is the reason we slowly or sometimes very suddenly start getting these massive symptoms and massive complications of this disease. Because it was so new, initially we did not even know the pathogenesis. But the scientific world will never sit still, and very quickly an understanding into its pathogenesis, mode of transmission, and the possibility of creating vaccines to stop its spread started. So today we are mainly going to address what are the COVID-19 vaccines, and mainly to understand, are they safe for women who are trying for a pregnancy? Do they have any long-term effects on fertility? Can they be taken by women who are pregnant? Can they be taken by women who are breastfeeding? These are the main things that we are going to address. So basically, what are the COVID-19 vaccines? Let us start there. So COVID-19 vaccines are three types of vaccines. One is an mRNA vaccine where there is a messenger RNA. So what happens is that these messenger RNAs are messengers in our cells, which give the information to our cell to produce a particular protein. So this is what mRNA is. So it is a messenger which instructs the cell to do a particular thing. The next is a viral vector vaccine. So what is a viral vector vaccine? So we take a non-pathogenic virus. In this case, it is an adenovirus which is taken and then little bit segments of corona which will not be able to cause the disease. So it is through this viral vector that the instruction is introduced into the cell. And the third, which is like the Covaxin, is inactivated coronavirus vaccine. So these are the main vaccines, and currently there are about 9 vaccines across the globe which have been given the go ahead to be used for humans across various countries. Now, the 2 vaccines that are available in India are the Covishield and the Covaxin. The Covishield comes from Serum Institute and it is patented by AstraZeneca, and this is a viral vector vaccine. The Covaxin, which is produced by Bharat Biotech, is the inactivated coronavirus vaccine. Now, just let's understand what these vaccines are all about. Now, in the viral vector vaccine, like I said, there is a viral vector. So there is a virus which is which is a non-pathogenic, or a virus which will not cause the disease, which is introduced into our system through the vaccine, and this virus will then enter the cells and instruct the cells to produce a protein, and that protein is similar to the spike protein that is present and is is a classical factor of the COVID-19 or the coronavirus. So it is once these spike proteins are produced, the body identifies these spike proteins and launches an immune response against these proteins. Of course, because this is not going to be an infection and it is a very mild thing, the body is not going to react in a manner when actual coronavirus infection or COVID-19 infection happens. But what happens in the process is, because the body has already launched an immune response, you produce the antibodies and you produce the T cells. So in case there is another infection with the COVID-19 infection, the body is all prepared with its antibodies and can quickly take care of or tackle the coronavirus infection. So this is how the mRNA vaccine will act. Similarly, the inactivated coronavirus vaccine, which is the Covaxin, will also make the cells produce an immune response, due to which already antibodies and T cells are produced, and therefore the body is prepared and it can therefore launch an attack against the infection if a real COVID-19 infection happens. Due to which, what happens is that in case there is an infection, the body is all prepared and can take care of the virus before it can actually invade the body in a very strong way and cause a massive immune response, leading to different kinds of infection complications in the body. Now, the question is, what have these vaccines been produced in a very fast condition? Do they have the necessary approvals? Vaccines take such a long time for production. Then how is it that these vaccines have been produced so fast? So these vaccines have been approved for emergency use authorization. So there are conditions at times when it is felt that the need to kind of contain this infection is more important than letting it go through the n number of tests or phases, at the same time making sure that the safety is maintained. So during this, the scientists have worked round the clock, and very fast the regulatory processes have taken place so as to make them available to the people on a large scale. So the safety has been taken care of, irrespective of which virus you're looking at, whether it is the mRNA or the viral vector or the inactivated vaccines that are there. Now, something we need to understand is that these vaccines do not interfere with the DNA. and therefore the chance that we are passing this on something, to the baby or through the breast milk is really not present. Now, the current guidelines as to what the recommendations are for these vaccines is that if you look at the CDC, or if you look at the global recommendations, or if we look at the Federation of Gynecology and Obstetricians, which is at an international level, which is the main governing body for us, so which is called the FIGO, it is said that they recommend these vaccinations in pregnant women or lactating women. However, as per our ministry in India, pregnant and lactating women still remain a contraindication for the current vaccines which are available in India. Now, this can change. This can change as more data comes in. We all need to understand that all of us are still grappling with the information. Still, new data is coming in. All vaccines have not been studied in particular subgroups, like pregnant women is a particular subgroup, lactating women is a particular subgroup. So these vaccines haven't really been completely studied in these subgroups, but pregnant women who have taken these vaccines have not found to have any side effects currently of these vaccines on themselves, on any pregnancy complications, or on there is a few children who have been born, and there's one child who's been born with the COVID-19 antibodies. So we really do not have too much data. However, we have to go behind the functioning of the virus and understanding how it works to give the current recommendations. And because the pregnant women are expected to be at risk of maybe developing complications, though frankly we have not seen that happening so much, because in a way pregnancy is an immunoprotective kind of a condition. But even then, if a high-grade fever develops and other complications develop, then it can set in preterm labor. The high-grade fever itself can cause problems to the baby, and hence the CDC and the FIGO recommendation is that pregnant women and breastfeeding or lactating women can take the vaccine. They can take the vaccine, both the doses, and mostly the Moderna vaccine has been given in these countries, which is an mRNA vaccine. We really don't have any data regarding the other types of vaccines in these women. But in India currently, according to the Ministry of Health, it is contraindicated for pregnant women and breastfeeding women. What we need to understand, however, is that inadvertently, if a woman is unaware that she is pregnant and she has taken a vaccine, there does not seem to be any reason to go ahead and terminate the pregnancy or worry about its effect on the fetus as of now from the recommendations that have come in. In fact, the CDC says that there is no need even to check whether there is a pregnancy if you want to go ahead and take a vaccine. Even if you do not check whether you're pregnant or no in the initial stages of pregnancy and just go ahead and take the vaccine, it should still not pose a problem. So this is the current recommendation of the vaccination for women who are pregnant and or are breastfeeding. However, we must understand that vaccination is a personal choice. It is not something mandatory that has been imposed on you. So definitely, I think it is important for the pregnant women to talk to your healthcare provider, understand what your risks are of getting the virus, what your risks are of, the transmissibility. Are there any other current complications regarding vis-a-vis your health or vis-a-vis the pregnancy? All these things need to be considered before you make an informed decision of whether you should go ahead and get the vaccination. So this is what we need to understand, that these vaccines or these vaccines are non-replicating vaccines or non-replicating viruses or just mRNA, and therefore the risk of it being passed on either to the fetus or any problems happening or either going through the breast milk to the fetus is not going to happen. The problem is that if you take a vaccine sometimes, it is obviously going to cause some kind of an immune response, which is expected for this vaccine to be effective. So there is a possibility that there can be, fever, there could be some headache, there could be malaise, there could be body ache. And this is normal. This can happen. There is really no need to worry about it. You can take a paracetamol or an acetaminophen tablet so as to make sure that a high grade fever does not develop, because that itself can be a problem. So therefore these tablets can be taken, and most of the times a high grade fever or chills or something like that does not happen. It is a mild grade fever, maybe with a little bit of headache or a little bit of body ache, that can happen. And we need to be aware of this and then consider and take the tablets or the required medication accordingly. You can also make sure that you've talked to your health care provider, you've gotten the instructions as to if you are at an advanced state of pregnancy, how would you monitor the fetal heart and there's not the fetal heart, the fetal movements, and how you would keep a watch on them. That is something that one needs to do. But like I said, since currently over here it is contraindicated, we're not really giving these vaccines to the pregnant and lactating women in our country. This data is likely to change as more and more evidence comes in as to the safety of these vaccines in pregnant women and in lactating women. It may also confer, like we have seen in the case of the Moderna vaccine and the baby being born with the antibodies, it is also likely to confer some kind of immunity to the babies that are born. But like I said, we all need much more information and data. This is a very new infection, and the vaccines are even a recent development, even more recent development. So we need to wait and watch and see what is happening. Now the next question that a lot of people have is, will these vaccines affect my fertility in the long term? Will these vaccine, if I take these vaccines, do I have to stop any fertility treatment that I'm currently taking? Now, no vaccines, including this vaccine, with the logic and the way that these vaccines work, has been found to cause any fertility concerns in women or in men as of now, as the current data stands. We do not know what is going to come out later, but as the current data stands, it seems completely safe for women who are trying for a pregnancy to go ahead and take this vaccine. Now, again, according to the CDC, it says that just go ahead, take the vaccine and continue trying for a pregnancy. But since we do not know what exactly is happening, and currently in India, the vaccines are contraindicated in pregnant and lactating women, probably the recommendation would be that you can take the 2 doses of the vaccine that are currently available in India and maybe wait for at least 45 days to 2 months following the vaccine and then try for the pregnancy. Now this is more because after you take the vaccine, it takes some time for the antibodies and the T lymphocytes to build up in the body. And after you have taken the first dose, it takes about 45 days or 30 days, and after the second dose it takes at least about 15 to 20 days for a complete good response of the body to come up in order to fight any infection that you may acquire later. So given this thought, it could be that you take 2 doses of the vaccine and then give a month for the body to be able to launch a complete and a good immune response to any future infection that you may acquire, and then go ahead and start planning for your fertility treatment. However, like I said again, inadvertently, if a vaccine has been taken, there does not seem to be any safety concerns. So we sometimes get so worried that, I was on treatment and I took the vaccine, and or do I need to just now completely terminate the pregnancy or stop the treatment in the middle of what is happening? So that should not be a concern. You can go ahead as per the current recommendations to just continue with whatever it is. But knowingly, if you're pregnant, currently in India, the vaccines are to be avoided. So the other contraindications are children and those below the age of 18, people who have had a history of very severe allergic reactions to maybe either vaccines or any other drugs, who are known to have anaphylactic reactions, and who have some other severe complicated illnesses. They will need to kind of go and meet up with their physicians before deciding on the vaccines that they are to and how they are to be taken. So this is the current recommendation and this is the current understanding. What we all need to, what we all need to also understand is that despite taking the vaccine, we have still seen that the infection may happen, because coronavirus is a virus that is a rapidly mutating virus. So if you have mutations, we currently do not know whether the vaccine will be protective against all kinds of mutations that this virus may undergo. So it is very important to understand that the vaccine is protective, but it does not 100% assure that you will not get the infection as of now. Currently, the recommendation was take the vaccine at an interval of 4 weeks. Now there is a recommendation that take the vaccine at an interval of probably 6 to 8 weeks. And there could be a possibility, after checking the antibody response after 2 vaccines, that for people who have taken 2 doses, maybe a third dose may get recommended if the dose has been taken at an interval of 4 weeks. So we really do not know. So what we need to understand is that we have to still check the antibody response to these vaccines, and we have to still be extremely careful to take care of all the precautions: wearing a mask, not going in crowded places, making sure that you maintain a 6 feet distance between people that you do not know, making sure that you come home and wash your hands thoroughly, wash your feet thoroughly, change the clothes that you have been wearing outside. So all these precautions that we have been taking since the coronavirus pandemic started, the same precautions we should continue taking even if the vaccination and the complete vaccination has been in place. Please understand, a complete vaccination is only after you have received both doses of your vaccine, and one dose is not going to give you the immunity to fight against the infection, or at least fight against the severity of this infection. So that is something that all of us need to understand. This is currently what we know about the coronavirus vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccines. Having said that, I also want to reiterate that the best immunity is what you can build up for yourself. So nothing that comes from outside is going to confer an immunity as much as your own body can build up. So therefore making sure that you maintain your body and your physical health, your mental health in such a condition that your immunity is well protected by itself is also a very important thing that all of us should pay attention to. And when it comes to this, it means taking care of your nutrition, taking care of the supplements. It may be the zinc, it may be the vitamin C, it could be in natural forms, in forms of through lemon and other citrus fruits, or it could be a supplement that you are taking. Making sure that your vitamin D levels are good, your vitamins are good, is also a very important factor when you are looking at immunity, especially so for pregnant and lactating women. The third thing is, sitting some time and doing some kind of meditative practices has also known, and it's been seen that these practices can really boost your immunity. And studies have been done where post a meditation session, levels of IgA antibodies have been tested, and it has been seen that there is a steep spike in the levels of antibodies that are present in humans following meditative practices. So we already have so much at our hands present in order to prevent ourselves from this infection by taking care in terms of our precautions, as well as maintaining our health and taking our supplements and boosting our immunity by doing meditative practices, and other things. At Dinanath Mangeshkar Hospital, a wonderful exercise, everybody is aware of it because it was done on a large scale. Something that we call in our yogic practices, which is called Jalaneti, is done, so that you kind of take in the water from one nostril and let it flow out, so that you're keeping your tract clear, so your complete tract is well maintained and maintained clear. And it's also been seen that it is helping quite a lot. So along with knowing that the vaccines are available, we also need to make sure and ensure that we do all the other practices to help ourselves and help our loved and dear ones, and of course our complete community, so the spread of the coronavirus is contained. So just to sum it up, I would like to say is that currently, according to the viruses that are present and have been authorized for use, the CDC and the FIGO recommend that these vaccines be taken by pregnant women, lactating women, and can be taken even by women who are planning fertility treatment. There is no need to even test whether there is a pregnancy before you go ahead and take the vaccines. Having said this, like I said, in India currently, pregnancy and lactation is a contraindication for these vaccines, and therefore it is not being given in these women. But if inadvertently a vaccine has been taken, there is no need for panic, because it seems, and with the way that these vaccines act, it is a safe vaccine to be taken and would not necessarily cause any problems to the baby or any problems to the pregnancy if it has been taken, and there is no need to panic. So this is in general what the data is available now as for these vaccines, and this is something that I wanted to convey, because most of the times it is our thoughts, inadequate information, or worry that what would happen, that causes more stress rather than what the vaccines can do to us. So once we have the required information, I think we can make informed choices, we can make informed decisions along with our healthcare providers, and that I think will lead to a much calmer state of mind, which will not only help the pregnant women, lactating women, but also their families around, and the babies who are going to be born, as well the babies who are breastfeeding. So thank you everybody for joining us today, and if there are any questions that you'd like me to address, please do let me know. Okay, so we have a question which says that I am on infertility treatment, hysteroscopy is done, IUI in this current month. I'm doing COVID practice on OPD basis. So I think this seems like to be like, you are a healthcare worker. So I think healthcare workers are at a high risk for getting the COVID infection. And like I said, taking the COVID vaccine does not 100% assure that there will be no infection, but the events or the severity of the symptoms can be definitely controlled. So it would vaccine, and maybe give it a month or at least about 15 days after your second dose, and then start the IUI treatment. I think that would be a good decision to take. But of course, like I said, speak to your doctor, your healthcare provider, and see what they have to say vis-a-vis this. But being a healthcare provider and being in that risk zone of being somebody who can contract this disease or come across more patients with this disease, it may be appropriate to take the vaccine, just delay the treatment for about 15-20 days after your second dose, and then proceed with it. So the next question is, does taking vaccine also mean child will have antibody? Now, we had the first baby being born after the Moderna vaccine. This was in a woman who was a healthcare worker and had taken the vaccine, and the baby was born with the antibodies. But we do not know. Science cannot go based on anecdotal information. So we need a lot more data from the different types of vaccines to say what is going to happen. So not really, we do not have the answer to that question at this present moment. So the next question is, should I take vaccine now or wait for a pregnancy report? So I think if you're suspecting that there could be a pregnancy, wait for the pregnancy report and check whether there is a pregnancy, because as per the current Indian recommendations, the vaccine currently is contraindicated in pregnant and lactating women, though the international CDC and the FIGO guidelines have given the go ahead. So you can, if you're so close and you're expecting a pregnancy, just check whether the pregnancy test is positive and then go ahead and take your vaccine. Is there any side effects on fetus if mother got COVID infected during the pregnancy? Well, so far, no, not really. We haven't seen that there is a very severe degree of COVID infection, or, the baby is getting any severe infection, anything like that. The risk of transplacental transfer or the risk of the transmission happening during labor is still very minimal. So I do not think there is any real need to worry about it. So the next question is, I have taken a first dose of Covaxin on 20th March. Is it okay to plan a baby after 20th April? So what I would say is, plan the pregnancy 15 or 20 days after your second dose. Right, so at least about 45 days to 2 months after the first dose, and at least 15 to, so a good thing would be, because everything goes as per your menstrual cycle, so a good thing would be that if at least about 15 days have passed or 20 days have passed after your first vaccine, after your second vaccine, or the next month when you get your menstrual cycle, a month after the second dose, you can start planning for the pregnancy. That would be a good thing to do, because it's just being safe. What I'm saying is that with the current data, it is being found that it is a safe vaccine. It should not have any problem, but it is, if a month lost is not going to be too much in life. So really, if you've just taken the second dose, you can give it a month and then start planning for a pregnancy. So I think we are done with all the questions. If there are any more questions, please go ahead and ask them, or you can write to us on our email, which is info at the rate Zenith. Zenith is with an X, XENITH. So info at the rate zenith.clinic. So if you have any more questions, please go ahead and write to us on our email, and we'll be happy to address them. And our clinic website and information and phone numbers are already there on our website. Our website is www.zenith.clinic, and you can visit our website. And we have a lot of blogs, not just on COVID, but a lot of blogs on fertility and simple queries and simple stuff that you can do, in order to take care of your fertility, in order to manage yourself throughout your fertility treatments. And a lot of guides are there, and we are going to keep posting many more blogs there. And please do write to us and tell us how you feel these blogs are, whether you want us to address any specific queries, questions, topics, and we'll be happy to do so. I think it's very important for me as a doctor, because I am an obstetrician and gynecologist, but completely dedicated to fertility and reproductive care. And the most important thing I feel is that information and understanding and knowledge, because if we do not have information, we cannot do much. After we have information, we can take a lot of informed choices. And it's sometimes difficult in the Google world and today's world to understand, what information we can take in and what we should actually stay away from. And we are trying to put in as much as valid and good information, we can, so that it can help everybody. So thank you so much for being here, and please do write to us and tell us, and post your questions. Thank you, and hoping to see all of you soon again, anytime we have our next FP Live. Bye-bye.